Live from New York, it's the show that is congratulating the Denver Nuggets on their trip to the finals. There you go, you led the show. Now, on to LeBron. Brew, any chance LeBron actually retires?
Slim. I think there's a possibility, but I think it's a slim chance that he retires. I think several things are at work. One, he was understandably angry and upset about the loss. Like, I think LeBron, I said it last week on the Bud List, I think he smelled his fifth ring.
Yeah.
I think, like many people, he was like, all right, we can get through Denver. And you look at the East with Boston struggles. You look at Miami with their solid, but there's a roster the Lakers beat already, all right? And I think he thought it was there. And so he's frustrated. And I think some of that was just frustration in the moment of, is it really worth going through all I do to get here and not get it done? And will I have another? Was this my best last chance at getting the title? Secondly, I think it could have been a message to the front office like, look, don't take me for granted. Let's not relax. I'm not happy with just getting to the conference finals, having a good season and having people throw their flowers at Rob Pelinka and others for what we did accomplish. So that's a message. And then third, this is interesting. I think last night, and I'm basing this on, he talked to Dave McMenamin after the press conference from ESPN. And he said, I think McMenamin asked him, why would you come back or something to that effect? And he said, because I'm still better than 90% of the players, maybe 95%. Yep. The number, I believe, is more like 97 or 98%.
I agree.
But the fact that LeBron even said that tells me he realized, maybe for the first time,
I'm not the best guy.
I'm not the best player anymore.
Well, still,
and he's
95th percentile.
But when is the last, has he ever been on the court? Now, early in his career, yes, he knew he wasn't the best, but he's like, I'm going to get there in short order. But his entire life, he's probably been the best basketball player on the court, in the league, whatever he played in, forever. And I think last night he realized, I can't control these games. I went out there, put on a great performance, really tried to bring it home, and I couldn't. And I think that's got to be unusual for him to play through that. So I think that's all that was at work. Look, Nick, I think when he retires, ultimately he deserves certainly a farewell tour. And I think LeBron will want that. He might not admit it, but I think he'd like that. So I hope he doesn't retire and hope he gets his
I hope
tour,
he doesn't retire. My money would not be on him retiring. But it is absolutely, unequivocally on the board of potential outcomes. And I was shocked that people were shocked that this was voiced and that this was a possibility. I said to you yesterday in your office, and then I said it kind of as we were going to break yesterday, that Lakers lose, this might be the last time we ever see LeBron James in the playoffs. That wasn't because I thought he was going to keep playing and the teams just never make the playoffs again. 16 teams of the 30 make the playoffs. Every time this guy takes the court, it could be the end of his career. And because he is playing at such an unprecedented level for anyone close to his age, much less his years in the league, we are numb to it. Whether we're numb to it because we're calling a game and demand he guard Nikola Jokic while drive to the paint, while play all 48 minutes, while will his team to victory, or numb to it as we were hearing last night throughout. Why doesn't LeBron do more? Well, I don't know. I mean, Anthony Davis is sitting on the bench for the opening 5 minutes of the fourth quarter. LeBron's played 47 minutes and 54 seconds of a 48-minute game. They're like, you know what? Drive to the basket every time and guard the two-time MVP while you're at it on the other end, or else your team can't win. But there are so many elements to us being numb to what we're seeing. So, I promise the audience we will get to the Nuggets, we'll get to Jokic, and we'll get to the actual game. But this is the bigger story because people think it's an impossibility that he retires because he has voiced, I want to play with Bronny.
Yep.
But he also voiced something interesting a couple months ago, which is just because that's my ambition, that doesn't mean it's his. Which then raises this very interesting conundrum, if you will. If Bronny has voiced to him or Savannah, I don't think that would be good for me. I don't think it's what I want.
Which I think.
Which is possible, and I know that you think it maybe wouldn't be good for him. Does LeBron want to compete against Bronny? Because that's what it would be. At some point, they're going to be on the court against each other. They might be in the same conference. Does LeBron James, who said, I'm trying to win championships, that's all I care about, want to have to go guard his son? I don't know.
I mean, that'd be awesome.
I think
but it's unprecedented.
I'd
right?
rather that than him playing with Bron. He's talked about playing with Bron.
You'd rather
on
that.
the same team.
I'm saying, but my point is, the Bronny part of it is the reason everybody thinks, oh, of course he'll keep playing. And because he's still, as Bruce said, in the 90s, there's 10 guys in the league at most better than him, probably 7 or 8. We don't recognize that, okay, if he stops right now, only Parrish and Kareem have played more games. Only Kareem's played more minutes. The list of guys who have played a single game past year 20 is 6 people long. The list of guys who have actually really played past year 20 is KG, Vince, and Dirk. And Vince is the only one who made it past year 21. He made it to year 22. We should be expecting him to walk away. We are only not expecting it because he just finished top 5 in everything in the playoffs up to this point, and because he still has a 30-point half in him to start a elimination game.
What if I met you in the middle and he doesn't come back for the full year? Because he said something interesting, and not to parse his words too much, he's like, I might not be back in the fall. And maybe it's just that's what he's saying, but maybe I took it more literally. Do you think, Brew, that he could announce, you know what, or at least think, I don't have 100 games in me. I've got about 50 games. So I had Josh pull up LeBron's last 3 years, playoff and play-in. He's playing about 50 games. He had 72 this year. The tricky part about this is in his last title, and I'm going to take the bubble out, not because it didn't matter, just because it was a non-traditional
Because you didn't go
season.
straight through.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. 2015, 2016, he played 97. And he only missed 6 games. He was 31 years old. So could you see him maybe getting foot surgery, maybe coming back, maybe on Christmas Day or something like that, having sort of almost what Scottie Pippen did in The Last Dance.
Right.
I'll give you half the season in the playoffs, but I can't give you.
You used the Roger
82
Clemens
more.
example.
Yeah, Roger Clemens, like, I'll pitch home games. Yeah. I'll come every once in a while.
If he has surgery and he's legitimately out and rehabbing, I'm fine with it. It'd be great to have him back. I hate the precedent, though, and we're getting close to that with load management, but I hate the precedent of, you know what, not just LeBron, any player, Kawhi, I'll be back in January, get myself in shape, and then be ready for the playoffs. The whole point of the NBA is it is a marathon. And it is, can you fight through the whole season and stay healthy and play well in the playoffs? So I don't like that precedent.
I agree with you that I don't like the precedent. I don't know if it counts as a precedent if the guy doing it is like, hey, I'm going to set the all-time record for minutes and games played this year. I'm in year 21. I don't think if LeBron because I said a month ago that I think LeBron's going to have the first surgery of his career this offseason. Now, it's kind of bananas. He's never had a real surgery this long into his career. I would think it would be smart to delay the surgery a bit and to then because I do think that LeBron, I don't want to say ran out of gas because he just had 40, 10, and 9 playing 48 minutes. But the tank was on empty, and they were not to the final game of the season. The concern with that is, do you trust the Lakers and this team that if he were to miss the first 30 games of the next season, to not all of a sudden be in the position they were in this year, which is we're in playoff mode but from the All-Star break on because we've dug ourselves such a deep hole?
But look, you can't have everything. I mean,
what do you mean?
You can't, if you're not going to play, like you're saying, can I trust the team to be in anything but the current position, 7th seed or whatever they were? Well, if you don't play,
that's fair.
You can't say, well, but you guys got to be the 2nd seed, so when I get back, everything is set up perfectly.
No, I think coming
now,
back
you
is
don't,
the
do you
7
like
would
the
be fine.
idea of if he's healthy in September, him just sitting out until January?
No, but I do like the idea of him. Tim Duncan made first team All-NBA in 2014 when they lost to the Heat, and was third team All-NBA in 2015. I might have those years backwards.
They beat the Heat in 14.
Okay, well then in 13 and 14, but they're back-to-back finals years. He was 30 minutes a game. He was to me, there is the load management issue the NBA has, and then it's how a guy who's almost 40, approaching 70,000 minutes, how he wants to manicure the season to get to the end.
Yep.
And I think those are two very different discussions.
So Kyrie at the game. Trae Young attended his second game. Clutch guy.
Yeah.
With Rich. Reaction to LeBron saying the roster's not set.
Yeah, I think they should, for all intents and purposes, I think they should run it back. I think that one of the benefits of young players is you should anticipate improvement. The idea that Austin Reeves will stop getting better when he has gotten better every year of his career dating back to college is foolish. Now, will he have this meteoric rise between this? No, but he could still marginally get better. Rui Hachimura was a lottery pick who was stillborn his whole career in Washington, and now he's coming off his best 3 months of basketball.
Yeah.
He should get better. Jared Vanderbilt can be a valuable player in this league if he can just go to, you know how Akeem used to hold those camps? Go to the P.J. Tucker camp of corner three-point shooting.
No,
just learn one shot, and then you become very valuable.
He gets better eventually.
Absolutely.
Yep.
The question, those guys are easy, in my opinion, to bring back. The question is D'Angelo Russell. D'Angelo Russell has, in my opinion, real regular season value for a team that might want to load manage people. He has no postseason value unless he, at 28 years old, decides, you know what, I'm the former number 2 pick of a draft. I bounce around the league because I'm not a playoff player because I can't defend. Do I want to dedicate myself on that front? Those are the moves I would make. I would not say, with a 39-year-old LeBron, assuming he's back, and Anthony Davis, that we're all crossing our fingers on his ability to stay healthy, let's add Kyrie Irving, who has not been healthy or reliable in 7 years the last 7 years, as the missing piece at the expense of that depth. I would not do it.
Here, the two guys I want absolutely back, other than LeBron and AD, are Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura.
And they're both restricted so that you can bring them back no matter what.
Gotta bring them back.
Okay.
It is not worth losing those guys to get Kyrie. Now, to me, the reason to bring in Kyrie, like, if they can bring him in, you got to convince him to take less money.
Okay.
He can get about $47 million starting a deal per year, and maybe they'll have 30, 32 million. That's a big ask. But unless they can convince him to come back for that, then I might move on from Kyrie.
No.
But
$15 million?
You give him a little longer deal. Maybe you give him 3 guaranteed years. I don't know if Dallas will do that. 3 or maybe even 4 if he'll take that, starting at $30 million roughly. Here's the reason I do think they need a Kyrie, and I agree. Reeves, Hachimura, Vanderbilt, these guys can improve. However, what was their problem in this series?
They didn't have another shot creator?
They couldn't close.
Oh, okay.
They couldn't close. All right? They didn't have a guy that you know is a bucket at the end of the game. Because LeBron, for him to be an absolute bucket, what does he have to do? Drive to the hole. But he doesn't do, whether it's worn out or whatever, he doesn't do that all the time. So he's not a bucket from 3 or mid-range. Anthony Davis definitely isn't a definite bucket.
No.
Kyrie Irving is. Jamal Murray is. That was the difference. Murray can get you a bucket because he's such a great shooter. Kyrie is such a great shooter. They need somebody like that at the end of games. They might have won this series had they had a guy like that.
So he doesn't play defense, and Darvin Ham and LeBron
They don't have enough
been
defense around him.
I guess so. The chemistry part is weird. Kyrie is
With
not
Kyrie, with LeBron?
Guys, the last noteworthy Kyrie Irving playoff game
Was with LeBron.
Guys who were on the court: J.R. Smith, Richard Jefferson,
Please say Tristan
Matt
Thompson.
Barnes, David West, Sean Livingston.
Oh.
So are you saying Kyrie's washed?
I am saying we are holding, this is your high school sweetheart who is since married and twice divorced, and you're like, man, we had a great thing back in the day. Like, maybe you did. That time is over. Another time that is over.
You were his first love. Her first love. His first love. LeBron is his first love. He realized, man, I never should have left him.
And it's over.
We had a good thing.
Yeah,
we used to go to the movies,
you know what?
all that.
What'd you say?
The
used to go to movies.
All right, we're talking about the date metaphor.
That is okay. Thanks, Brew.
I think with LeBron, he would be on his best behavior.
Didn't you, Brew? Here's time now for Wildes one final installment.
You never know.
Kevin Wildes. Why does everybody think I hate LeBron?
I don't.
I don't
like
understand.
You
I'm
rip
the
LeBron
mayor of fair.
again.
Let's see Wildes' first tweet from last night's game. With that beautiful three, LeBron is now 4 for 20 from 3 for the series.
This is nonsense. What happens? This is what happens when you do your segment and I don't pay attention to it. I wasn't talking about a beautiful jump shot that you put in the background of my tweet.
No,
I was talking about a pass that went in.
Yes, it was a sarcastic shot at LeBron in the midst of him carrying. But
what was sarcastic?
So, okay.
It was the fact that he's now 4 for 20.
Yes. But so
that
here's
is a fact.
So
but that's the picture they use.
Can we
is
show?
That fair,
hold on. So this is where I would ask if we had an actual mayor of fair to adjudicate these things. Let's show the next tweet from Kevin Wildes. Okay, so Kevin Wildes. Here's why I mentioned this. In between the first tweet and this one, LeBron had his career high for points and a half, points in a playoff quarter.
I thought you took care of that.
You sent 0 tweets.
I thought you took care of that. As a team, we took care of that.
Twitter fingers turned to trigger fingers. Is that what it is?
Yes.
When LeBron has a rough final possession. And
that's a shot at Darvin Ham.
Okay. And then the most cowardly act of them all.
Oh, being nice.
The final tweet. LeBron got bopped in the face by Aaron Gordon, hit on the knee by Jokic, played 48 minutes and scored 40 points on one good foot. He eliminated the talkative Grizz, the defending champs, went out on the shield to the eventual champs. Bravo.
Perfectly written.
Is like in politics, when after 90 minutes of destroying your opponent, they're like, say something nice, and you're like, I'm sure he's a good father. Like, you try to make up for it.
I gave him 20 compliments there. I gave him 20 compliments, and I'm a LeBron
Waited until he was eliminated.
I like LeBron.
Oh, clearly.
You act like his lawyer, like he can do nothing wrong, and Brew delivers cogent analysis.
Okay.
I am a LeBron fan.
I like that last tweet. That was nice.
Yeah, that was
nice.
Clean it up.
I'm the mayor of fair.
Tried to clean it up.
Am I allowed to say he took a shot off the side of the backboard? Did it not happen?
I thought that was about Darvin Ham.
It was, but Darvin Ham called a play.
Darvin
Ham called a play where it's like, hey, Dennis Schroeder, stop Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon said, no, thank you, wow, and got in LeBron's face, and he shot off the side of the backboard. I didn't say Westbrookian, though.
No, you would have deleted that because you think it's too mean to Russ. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.